What's going on, traders? Happy Monday. Good to be back at the desk after a week off last week, getting back into the routine. My three beautiful monitors. I don't like trading on a laptop when I'm away from the desk, but we're back. No damage done last week, thankfully. But I want to go over today's trading. I think a few people made some money here at the open on Austin's stream. I made one during his stream as well on a long, and then kind of just fizzled out, as you obviously probably know. But I think there's some good lessons in this afternoon plays if you took any longs or if you took some shorts as well. Maybe there's some plays on that. But if you've seen any of my content, any of the Futures 2.0 course where I teach you my entry strategy, there was definitely a few that presented today. But if you've checked the later chapters of Keys to Remember, I know for a fact there's a markup that looks like just like one we're going to create here in a few minutes of just good lessons to remember using pretty much just discretion and almost experience of how to potentially avoid him, like him a little bit less. But first off, let's just go to TradeZella to look at today's first trade and only trade actually. But I want to go over the lessons later on the charts because we have to draw that from scratch. If this wants to load here, maybe not. Nice little question mark there. Okay, let's try it one more time. If not, we could just draw it on the chart again. But all right, that doesn't want to load. The long was right here. It was here in the morning after sellers just couldn't take control here. 50-minute opening range was set. Sellers couldn't break out to the bottom. I know a lot of people shorted that. Lots I could say about that. But let's just talk about my trades today, as well as ones that many of you probably took. But I think Austin took this one here on the break back above New York because I think it was like 13. We had a midnight price above us that wanted to be filled 73% of the time, engaged with, I should say, when it's open below. So that was a long magnet all morning. We could even check out the 15-minute to see where we opened up at. And you can see it was an inside bar day. With the strong move down on Friday, it was going to take an impressive move today to just retrace it all right back to the top. And it never took out the bottom. So it was an inside bar day on a Monday, no news. So really not surprising that it kind of just fizzled out. I mean, I didn't even measure it. From the bottom to the high, we moved 40 points. But again, really, that only happened in like an hour and a half, 2 hours, then the whole afternoon. Nothing. So let's go back to the 1 minute here and check out the trade one more time. So we'll switch to the regular trading hours. You can see sellers couldn't take over here. So I'm leaning long bias. I have that target above us. So Austin long this one because you have at least a clear bias at the bottom that you want to be no longer long. And I do like that. So I missed that opportunity as it was still kind of just range bound. I don't have any trending structure to work with, which you know my best trades and my favorite trades in Futures 2.0 or just anything on AceFX TV that I take. I like trending structure. Just give me more information. I could buy it here and make money, but I'd rather just see the longs work out, confirm that I am long bias. I should be looking for long and fire a higher probability one, which is what I did just maybe 20 minutes later. Because this one pops, still didn't get midnight. Let's just draw that on there. I believe it was at like 13. Call it there. Midnight was somewhere around there. That still hadn't engaged with that, but we're getting a nice pop for a new high day, confirming those longs. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite. But if you've seen Futures 2.0, you know I like a significant pullback. And this one here just really, I mean, even this consolidation really isn't a pullback in my book. All right, we could talk about this one later on. This is a pullback. Clearly, buyers took a break. But I was using other information, which is why I wish this link worked. Oh, it did work. So I don't have to waste any more time. So here's the trade. You can see a high day view up anchored, small pullback, buyers stepping back in. So buyers are in. I just would have ideally probably liked it to dip a little bit more to New York view up, open range high again, and maybe even yesterday's New York here in blue. But if you look at the left side, this is the 15-minute. This candle here is the one that we're now taking the close of. I really like the close of that bar after the open here with these two pins. Couldn't make a new low a day from the price action pre-market. So I know we're still an inside bar day. Inside bar days just naturally normally want to close bullish. So I like the longs for that. This candle here at the open couldn't make a new low a day, so that's not very bearish. We're back above all VWAPs. It's almost like a strong A1 or 2 candle formation back above the daily. So I like that for longs. So that's why I was willing to take this price, not really wanting it to come back down to the daily or New York, because then that 15-minute candle wouldn't look great. So I'm almost looking for this to continue like an A1 candle. If you remember that old strategy, an A1's a breakout. I want it to continue. It shouldn't want to pull back. The next bar should be bullish as well. So that's why I took that trade. You can see I got out right at midnight at like 14. Now if we go back to the chart, do I even want to know? 14, we went up to 32, 33. Shit. But got my 1R, so I don't care. But yeah, really just drifts higher. No, and again, no significant pullback after that. That's why I'm not re-entering into any of these longs because these are just 3 minutes of pullback, 3 minutes of bear. Like it's not a pullback, so nothing there. But now to the lesson of today, of this high day break. If you anchor on the high day, like you've seen in Futures 2.0, that's when I want to get in long next. So this will be our first signal. We get a break above high day after our most significant and only significant pullback since this run up higher, saying buyers are back in. All right. Stop loss at current structure right there. In the course, I talk about previous structure, which is really only back here, just to give it some space. So put a long on there, saying buyers are in, rather than right here at 6.5 points. Let's just go with 7.25 at this pin back here. Now, hindsight, it's easy. We could say, well, that is the previous structure back here on the left, but let's give it a few points or a tick below that, right? And in this case, it would hold, as you can see by the price action. No matter what, you would have lost. So let's say you got stopped out just at the previous structure, because that's what a lot of people took, and it's actually a little surprising. Just a strong candle there. Just could not hold. Looked like buyers were gonna finally push us higher, but they did not. So they come back down. We didn't really touch the New York since this pop at Austin's trade down here, so maybe it wants a full retest to that. I talked about that a lot in the course, that I want to see a full pullback to it, because even if you just look at the 50-minute here on the left, let's put on the daily VWAP, there's plenty of space. This is that big push up. There's plenty of space back to this daily that, yeah, let's fill that gray space. It's just going to be a healthy pullback that's not turning bearish. It just wants to take some profit, and then maybe it could bounce later on. There's just no gas in it today because no news, inside bar, it's a Monday, who knows? But then I'm sure a lot of people added back in once it got back above a second time. Okay, well, now this is my new structure because this is the new pullback. So now it's a 9-point stop. Let's go get that new high day now because it's the same price as earlier. Again, quickly fails. The way to play it today, now looking back, was to play bounce plays, a price play. The breakouts were not working. You bought it there on the break of high day, did not work. If you chase that break, did not work. If you take this last one, again, does not work. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's not the strategy's fault. That's just not what worked today. The play was on a slow volatility inside bar day on a Monday was to play the bounce, get the best price, not take a breakout. It's to trade the pullback. So if you bought the bounce here after it respects New York, stop loss at the low, you can get a nice 1R to it. And I just went over a BSC member's DRC. I gave him some feedback. This is the first candle close back above New York, 7-point stop. Let's say you get, well, that's perfectly 1R, but let's say you didn't get 1R there, right? It was 0.8, 0.9. We're back at the high day view up, which is a key level to probably take some profit at if you're getting in before the break, because we know there's a lot of interest around this level, aka failed there, it failed there. We're back at it. Do we want to predict that this is the one that's going to break? Ideally, it does, but again, it does not. Sellers step in again and send us back lower. So I think if you did take this bounce play, you got to be taking profit there. Almost not seeing it as, oh, I'm in below. We're now breaking the high. Let me add in because now this thing's going to rip. It could have, but in this case, it's just I'm down here. I'm trading to my next level, which is high day view up break. So I think just seeing that sellers stepped in every time along this VWAP, I'd really want to see a strong close and like hold above, which you just never get. It holds there for 5 minutes and then right back down. So I don't think you really want to probably take that last high day break over here. And even still, though, it's not really a bearish day that you want to be selling it because, again, let's go back to let's chase a short down here below the daily or the New York VWAP. It doesn't really run. Again, maybe you play the bounce play once it gets back above. Stop loss here. You're taking profits when it's attempting to break the high day view up over here. You're not expecting a new high day to be made way up there. Late in the afternoon after it's just been dead, sideways. So it's just one of those days where the breakouts aren't working. You had to get a really nice price and call the bottom of a range almost, the bottom being the New York VWAP. Because overall today, let's look at the trend. It ended very bullish. Higher highs and higher lows overall. Just really one higher low set at the open. This is our second one. There's just yet to be a new higher high made. Maybe that comes tomorrow. Who knows? But still a bullish day that you still want it to be long bias more than short, because I think it spent like maybe 10 minutes there and 20 minutes below the New York view up today, and everything else was above. So this is a dry day. Breakouts weren't working. That I think if you made the money early in the morning after the strong rip, then the probably best that you stayed flat the rest of the day and didn't give back your gains, because it's, again, if this happens again tomorrow on that break, this break, that break, I'm going to be taking it because that's the strategy. I know long term, if I take it enough times, they do work out. This is just one of the days where breakouts weren't working. It's not me or the strategy. I mean, I guess you could say it's the strategy of knowing what kind of market condition we're in on this day that we're not really trending. The high day was set at 11:45 in the morning. 2 hours after the open, no new high was even close to being made. We just made nothing but lower highs ever since. One last thing, every time the buyers got up to this high day view up, they were getting lower each time, weaker each time. That sellers were still kind of defending it, but they weren't really stepping in strongly for new lows and things like that. So I think it's a good lesson day on a Monday, keeping it tight, recognizing probably the later trades over here. That's seeing what you just did 2 hours ago, whatever it is, over here on these failed breaks. Hopefully, it could help you avoid this third one over here to get induced into another long, saying, finally, we're going to break out. It absolutely could have. I'm not saying it doesn't, it won't. Because, yeah, it is a nice retest to New York, break a high day. Let's go make a new high day. That's the strategy. That's in the new course. So definitely go check it out. You'll see plenty of markups of it that work. On days like this, you just do want to reflect of like, is there anything I could have done better? Did I miss anything? Did I overlook something and not take something into consideration? Like maybe the slowness of it. I mean, ideally, realistically, it really was moving 10 points for 2 hours. It's not wrong. It's not right. It's not higher. It's not lower. It's moving sideways. No buyers, no sell. It's just dead. So hopefully you had a good Monday. We'll get a nice strong finish to the week. I'll be live on ASFX TV Tuesday and Thursday as always. Let's make some money the rest of this week. Let's finish out the month strong before the holiday here in the U.S. next week on Thanksgiving, because I'll be off Thursday, Friday. So let's finish off this month strong. If you got any more questions on the course, on this video, any markups that I ever send, never hesitate to reach out. Love to help. But yeah, definitely go check out the Futures 2.0 course on ASFX TV, and you'll see the strategy of these breakout plays as well as the bounce plays, as well as even the take profit ones of if you're long in it here, trade it level to level. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know. And let's have a good week. I'll see you on stream tomorrow morning.